Being successful relies on you having the right habits. And one of the habits that has changed my life is having a notebook. So that is the topic of today's speech. This is You Will Have a Notebook by Mark Jonathan Romero. Okay, so you might be thinking, okay, why am I able to speak on this? What makes me the expert? Well, I want to tell you that effectively, I am Mr. Notebook. So if you look on the tables in front of you, I placed some notebooks that date all the way back to 2021 when I was 16. So I'm going to give you guys a second and you can take a peek in there, see if there's anything that catches your eye. But I will say I don't know exactly what's in each of them. It's just kind of random. Okay, so back to the speech. What is my thesis? By the end of the speech, you will start the habit of journaling. So, I will be covering over some main points. The first one being how it can help your professional output with the exercises you can do in them. The second being how you can retain more information with them. And the third being a more emotional fulfillment from using them. Okay, so this is going to be the first point, which is the professional life, how it can help your professional life. We're going to be going over the first exercise, which is the daily to-dos. We got some daily to-dos for you guys here. So in a 2002 study by Locke E.A. and Latham, published in the American Psychologist Journal, they did a study where they had two different types of factory workers. One was a factory worker where they did a vague goal, well, they did a specific goal, which was produce 100 units. The second factory worker group, they did a vague goal, which was do your best. So we have a vague versus a clear goal. So how many of you would say that they did 25% better with the clear goal? Okay, we got some people, yeah, 25, that's a good amount. Anyone would say 75%? 75, a little higher, okay. We got some people. Now, would anyone go as far as to say they did 100% better, twice as much? Oh, well, okay, I'm surprised. Well, the results showed that they actually did do twice as better. So they'd had 2 times the amount of the output as the people with the vague goal. So what does this mean for us? It means that having to-dos will push you. And more than that, it will push your output. So say for this class, maybe you had the vague goal of, oh, let me pass the class. What if you had the more specific goal, which was, oh, I'm gonna ace the speech? You know, your output in that speech would probably be a lot better. So we talked about the daily to-dos. We're gonna move on to the second exercise, which is gonna be breaking down your goals. So you are more likely to complete goals that have been broken down according to a 1984 study by Locke and Latham, published in the Psychological Bulletin. Okay, so they did a study again. Well, actually, so I want you to picture this. Say you're in the warehouse, okay? You're in this big, massive warehouse. And they're saying, oh, I want you to clean the whole thing. You don't even know where to start. You have the shelves, you have all of this. But what if they broke it down for you and gave you a simple task and they said, oh, I want you to clean the floor. So sweep the floor. Effectively, cleaning the warehouse is like slaying the dragon. But sweeping the floor is like riding the donkey, okay? So when we see this big, massive goal in front of us, it's almost discouraging because you want to make it, but at the same time, you don't know where to start. But when you have a small goal that builds up to the big one, you can do it and feel that immediate motivation and satisfaction, and then eventually you will reach the bigger goal. So how does this apply to you? So say you want to become a music star, right? So that's the overarching goal. What if you release an album? That's breaking it down. Even further than that would be making one song every 2 weeks. This is trackable progress that will motivate you every step of the way. And what if you wanted to make a coffee? Let's say let's make the coffee. Maybe you're Miss Rome in the morning and you want to make that coffee. First, we got to mix it together, but an even trackable one is grinding the beans. You feel that satisfaction every step of the way. So those were just some exercises that you can do in the notebook, but it's really up to your preference on what you feel and how you want to continue it. So that was the professional life, we're going to move on into retaining the information. This is point number 2. So this is retaining information. So in a study in 1979 published by the Journal of Educational Psychology by Langer, E.J., and Imberman, they found this. They had 2 different student groups. One student group had paraphrase notes. Okay, so this is the paraphrase notes here. And then the other one had word-for-word notes where they put down the words just for what it was saying. Okay? So what they showed was that the more engagement that they had with the notes, the more they switched it up, the more that they retained the information. So to put it simply, more engagement equals more retention. So how does this apply to you? Again, I'm trying to give you something that you can take with you out of the class. How does this apply to you? You can do this with advices from loved ones, lessons that you've learned from experience and memories. If you really want to remember something, it is proven that if you write it down and you involve your emotions into it, you will retain that information better. So that is retaining the information. We talked about how it can help in your professional life. We're going to move on to the last part, which is a more emotional approach. So I'm going to poke at your emotions here. So this can serve as your own personal memory bank. The reason why I personally love notebooks so much is because, as you can see, I can look back in my life and see how far I've come, what I was thinking at different points in time. And as an example here, it's a little hard to read, but it was my birthday, I was turning 17, so I was saying, oh, what does this mean for me? What am I gonna do moving forward? And pretty much just processing what that means. And just in general, I have another day here where I just wrote down my to-dos. I can look back on certain days and see exactly what I was doing that. And you don't write the to-dos every day. I mean, I have a big calendar where I put it, but I don't write it down in the journal every day. But for when you do it, it is nice to look back and have those memories that you can take with you. Maria Sebragoni, the co-founder of Moleskine, the brand of these journals, says every Moleskine notebook is a book yet to be written and a story waiting to be told. So she said this on the Moleskine website, and you can read it up until today. And these notebooks have been used by people like Pablo Picasso, excellent thinkers like Vincent van Gogh. But more legendary than their stories is your story, your memories, your life that's been waiting to be written, and you can just express yourself, your emotions that are waiting to be written down. Rick Scott says on goodreads.com, he's an American author, there are 3 things a man must do before he dies. He must plant a tree, he must father a child, and he must author a book, write a book. Now, why does he say this? I personally think it's because all of these things, our lives, they come and go, but these things stay here longer than us. If you have something where you are appealing to someone's emotions, maybe you give advices to your loved ones, it'll stay here. If you father a child, he'll stay here, and same with the tree. And this all points to one simple fact, that your life is short. We all have a set amount of time that we're going to be here for. So why wouldn't you want to put some advices, some great memories in something tangible which you can pass on? Okay? So those were all of my points. In conclusion, having a notebook will help in your professional life. It will help retain precious information, and it will be your own personal time machine to see what you were doing in 2025. But I want you to think right now. I want you to just sit here and think like this. Okay? What was my thesis? By the end of this speech, you will start the behavior of journaling. And I want to make sure I deliver on that. So if you come over here, I have 10 notebooks for the first 10 people who want some. So thank you. Have a blessed day. Okay. The first time to come up, the first time I get it, just get it. Okay? There you go, here you go, here you go, here you go. Oh, my pleasure, my pleasure.